Hey everyone, I'm Jason. I'm representing Reactive Design Studios today. We're a group of web developers and graphic designers, and our project this semester focuses on the CGT website and improvements and changes we can make to that. But before we get started talking about that, I just wanted to share with you a couple quotes that I found recently. The first one is from Dave Rupert. He's the lead developer at Paravel Inc., and he says, "The future of web and mobile design is that there is no distinction between the two. Mobile-first responsive web design is probably the trend to stick with in the near future." And the second quote comes from our very own Dr. V, and she wrote to us and said, "I cannot emphasize enough the importance of going through a systematic, user-centered design process, one that bases design decisions in user research and then validates them through user feedback and testing." So now we want to start off our presentation today by taking a look at a screenshot of the CGT website as it is now. I know we all probably have our own opinions on the positives and negatives of the site, but as a group we took a look at this and we saw some things we'd like to change, some things we'd like to improve, so that's kind of what fueled this project and got us going. And we're going to talk a little bit more about those changes in a minute. And then as a department, as a CGT department, we've been noticing a decline in the enrollment and retention of students for a while now, a few years. And we're thinking that by making changes and improvements to the CGT website, we can do our part to make something we can be proud of as students and help increase the enrollment and retention of new students. Our project is built on 4 pillars, and these are kind of what we focus the most on. The first being responsive web design, then we have user experience design, search engine optimization or SEO, and engaging content. We need content that is marketable. And I'm going to talk about each of these individually now. Responsive web design, which is our emerging technology, and I know you've heard a lot about it today already, is something that uses media queries in CSS3 or Twitter Bootstrap, as another group was using, to make it so that the website constantly checks the size of your browser or screen, adjusts accordingly, optimizes its layout for small screens and touch screens. Our second pillar is search engine optimization, and that just means always being in the top 5 search results of any given search engine. And you do this through validated coding and useful meta tags, so that when people search something involved with CGT, they find your site, they can get on there, they can start engaging with us. Our third pillar, which is probably the one we focus on the most, is user experience design. And user experience design just means designing for the user, making something that's simple for them to use, easy for them to use, and caters to their wants and needs. And we've used that to kind of dictate how we do the navigation for our redesign for the site. And our final pillar is engaging content. We want to use the content on the CGT website to market to students and to get people involved. And a perfect example of how not to do this would be the current definition of CGT on the site. You've probably read it. It's a lot of big jargon and ambiguous words, and we want to use that text better. So the 4 user groups that we use to kind of do our pilot studies on this project and that we're designing the website for are prospective students, current students, faculty, and parents. And we know all these user groups have different wants and different needs, and we have to make sure we design the different sections of the site accordingly. So now I want to talk about the pilot studies that we've been working on recently. For the past month now, we've been sending out surveys to the general public, surveys to each different user group, and we've done free listing studies and we've done card sorting studies. All of these things have just been to try and get a better idea of how we should design the site from a user standpoint. Instead of just making assumptions, we want to know what they want. And this is the coolest thing to come out of our pilot studies. This is a heat map in which we asked 60 people to click on the first thing they saw on the CGT website. So you can see that the image is the most prominent thing, and we want to use this knowledge to our advantage when designing the site. So next, I want to talk about the changes we're making with the website currently. This is happening right now. The logo at the top is going to be a link that returns you to the home page of the site, which isn't on there right now. We want to make sure there's social integration involved, and we want the CGT Student Showcase link to become a button that's more prominent on the page so people want to click it and see the things we've been working on. Some more big changes we're making is that static image on there now that people look at first all the time is going to become bigger. It's going to become an animated jQuery slider, and the sidebar of links on the main page is going to become a dynamic, most visited widget using Google Analytics. So that'll change throughout the year based on what students are doing, what prospective students need to see as well. Some other changes we're currently making are we're reorganizing the navigation scheme of the page so it's easier to find the information you're looking for more quickly. It'll take you less clicks to get where you need to go. And we're rearranging the content on the main page so that it makes more sense when your eye follows the content around. And finally, we're making the whole site responsive so it's accessible from all devices. And we're implementing a really cool feature on the main page called What Isn't CGT? This is actually Professor Burton's idea, where prospective students can interact in a live chat with faculty. So some of the current goals we have for this project, this is the mock-up of what we're doing right now. This is exactly how we want the site to look. And then over here you see the COT homepage, which was a big inspiration for us. And our first mock-up, which you could clearly tell it's come a long way. And what we want to do for this project is we want to be able to have a new site on a server that we could test people against later at the end of this week. And we want to take the two sites, put them head to head, and definitively be able to say, yes, it's easier to find information on our site, and it's quicker and users are more satisfied. Future goals for this project, we hope that either in 4.11 this becomes picked up as a legacy project and more people can do more usability studies and get an even better idea of what people want, or the department itself picks this up and puts more time and effort into it and gives the users what they want. Thank you. We've been Reactive Design Studios, and our presentation is Friday. Thank you.